Hello, everyone. I'm doing the shopping list method for the Instacart company challenge. Uh, so for this one, we're basically going to get a string as a parameter, and the string's going to have a bunch of different words with items with price value after it, and they're all going to be different formats, random formats. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the list, and we're going to take the numbers out of the list and then add them all together. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna iterate through the list. And then I is less than items. Sorry, it's getting a little delayed right now. So what we're gonna do is here's the pseudo code for this. This is what I wrote. So we're gonna iterate through the list, and then we're gonna check if the character that we're at, or sorry, it's not a list. We're gonna iterate through the string, and if the character is a digit, then we're going to. So this is how we're gonna keep track of it. We're gonna use a string builder. I like using the string builder because it's easy to append to, and I just know how to use it really well. So that's why I'm using the string builder. Make that empty. So, and in Java, sorry, there's a character class, the general class for character as is digit, and it returns true if it's a digit. So it's really nice. Char at I. So if char at I is digit, it's going to return true. And if it returns true, we're going to current num dot append items dot char at I. Okay, so if we look at the pseudo code, let's see. So else if it's a decimal. So the thing that is kind of hard to catch early on is you still have to add the decimals to the current num, and so it's I mean it's pretty straightforward. So if items at char, I can type here I equals a decimal. What we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing and append it. So if we do like this, it seems like it'll work, right? But there is a test. I think it's like test 6 here. There's one test that has 2 decimals. See this right here? So we also need to check if this is why the pseudocode has 2. It checks if there's a decimal twice. So if the if the character before is a decimal, we're gonna treat it like it's basically a letter. So I minus 1 equals a decimal. So if that's the case, we're going to so we need to get a sum value, float sum to do you need float? We'll do float. And this is how we're going to keep the running count of the sum of the numbers. So sum plus equals float, that parse float, and then current num. And we're just going to do 2 string. I think it'll work either way, but the parse.float it needs a string, and current num is a string builder, so that's just for precautions there. Oh, we also need to check. Okay, so if we only want to add this to the sum, if current number has a number in it, you know what I'm saying? Because if it doesn't, it's gonna get us an error, and we don't want that. So we need to check and make sure it's larger than 1, and then we'll just do that. And then after that, either way, we're gonna do. Do we need to create a new string if it's double? Okay, so if it's double, we also need to do current. We need to clear current number. So basically, what we'll do is just make a new string builder with that same value. Okay. And then, so let's see what pseudo code. Else. Okay, so if it's not a digit, okay, if it's a character, okay, so if it's a single decimal, it's gonna append it. This should be else. Okay, we should probably put this in an else block here. Yeah, like that. We need to have that in the else for this. So if it's not a double decimal, then we're gonna add the decimal to the current number. So after this, so else if it's not a digit and it's not a decimal, well then we need to add it to the sum. But we're only going to add it to the sum, just like right up here. We're only going to add it to the sum if it's greater than 0, because we don't want to add an empty value to the sum. So that's why we're doing that. And then sum plus equals parts. Oopsies. That two string. Okay. So what else do we need to do? So after we add it, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna clear it out because we don't want to keep the same numbers in there. And then at the end, so say we get through all this, and the last number is a digit. So if the last number is a digit, it's not gonna add it as of right now. So basically, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do if we're gonna use this again. So if the length is greater than 1, that means we have if it's greater than 0, that means we have a number value in the current num. And then we want to check if it's if I equals items length minus 1. So if it's on that last iteration, we want to add that value of the current nums to the sum, or else we're going to lose the last value. And we got to do this up here. So, and then at the end, we're just going to return sum. Do we need to return a double? We need to return a double. So, I wonder if this has a 2 double. 2. Maybe we can return it. We'll just try it here. Might convert it to a double index. Try index. Okay, so we just wrote what we were thinking. Let's see. what we're gonna do is we're just gonna change the floats to double because we do need to return a double here. So if we just alright, so basically we just return the floats as doubles, or we change the float to double, and it's just gonna make it easier to return the value. Okay, so just to go over it one more time, we're gonna have a string builder, and we're gonna name it current num, and then we're gonna go through this, and then we're gonna iterate through the string, and if it's a digit, we're gonna append current num, and you could probably use like a DQ or a queue, any other kind of structure, but I think the string builder is probably the easiest. So if it's a digit, we're gonna append. If it's a decimal, if it's a double, if there's two decimals in a row, then we're not gonna append. And if the length is greater than, we need to do greater than 1. The reason we're doing greater than 1 here is because we know there's one decimal, so we don't want to just add a decimal. So if the length is greater than 2, that means it's an actual number. So if the length is greater than 1, if the length is at least 2, then we know it's an actual number. So if the length is greater than 1, we're gonna add the current num to the sum, and then we're also going to clear the current num if it's a double decimal. But if it's not a double decimal, we're going to append decimal. So we could also change this to like char at I, the index, because it's decimal, but we know it's a decimal if the statement's true. So if it's not a digit, not a decimal, what we're going to do, if the length is greater than 0, therefore meaning it's an actual number, we're going to add it to sum, and then we're going to clear it. And then if we're on the last iteration and the length is greater than 0, we're going to add that to sum. And the reason we're doing this is because we basically, if the last couple characters in the string, excuse me, in the string are a number, this is the only way they're going to be added to the string, and we're going to return sum. So, let's see, R. I changed the variable name R, so that's just why this is. Doesn't like that. System print out. Okay, yeah, so I also did, on this version, I did system print, and this was just to find R's. I'm sorry if that was confusing. I have an R there. So what I have it doing is it's going to print out every time it updates the number, and so you can see here in the console output all the numbers. So whenever it gets smaller, it means it's like restarting. So it found 22, it finds 22, and then it finds 15.3, and then it finds 0.0, and then 12.12, and 0.02, and then 34, and basically those are all the numbers it's adding up, and that's just kind of easy way to see what it's doing. But I'll have this code right here linked in my GitHub down below, so feel free to check it out, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just holler at me, and I'll try to respond to those very fast. All right, there you guys.